Hello everybody, it's me Faith. In this video, I want to talk about Ukuchatha, also known as ukupey'ta. Ukuchatha is an indigenous practice of cleansing and purifying the body from the inside out. At a high level, Ukuchatha can be defined as an enema administration technique. The word enema actually means a number of different things depending on how you use the word. First, enema can describe the injection of a fluid into the colon through the rectum. Throughout the video, I will use the word rectum instead of the word anus. There are many different ways of injecting fluid into the colon through the rectum. I will give examples later on showing how this is done by different groups of people. Secondly, enema can refer to the fluid that is used when injecting fluid into the colon through the rectum. There are so many different kinds of fluids that can be used, from plain water to saline water. This is water with coarse salt. You can also use water with sunlight soap or water with shiposhi. Lastly, you can use prepared traditional medicines. The word enema can also mean the device for administering fluids. There are many different types of enema devices, from the simple bulb douche syringe to a siphon enema to a container with a tube attached to it. You also have sophisticated enema machines that are used in hospitals. According to Egyptian mythology, enema was invented by the god Thoth. Thoth was a god of the moon, reckoning, learning, and writing. It's said that Thoth was also the inventor of writing. The use of enema was first mentioned in ancient Egyptian medical literature as early as the 1500 BC. One of the ways that enema was used in ancient Egypt was to administer medications to patients. Over the years, the uses of enema have evolved to include many other uses, and in part, this is due to the changes that have been made to the device itself. Even though the basic definition given earlier of Ukuchatha or enema is injecting fluid into the colon through the rectum, this definition is a description of how you perform Ukuchatha, or the steps you take when performing Ukuchatha. It doesn't actually tell you much about Ukuchatha itself. Instead of just giving you a narrow definition of what Ukuchatha or administering enema means, I will give you different examples of how and why different groups of people administer enema. There is a lady in New York, in the US, by the name Yesintu, who owns her own colon hydrotherapy clinic where she administers enema. Yesintu is a qualified colon hydrotherapist. She decided on this career path because she suffered from various digestive problems for years that she couldn't get help for. She didn't want other people to go through the same thing, so she started the hydrotherapy clinic to help other people with similar issues. When Yesintu was asked if colon hydrotherapy is the same as Ukuchatha, she responded with a yes and a no. She said yes, colon hydrotherapy is similar to Ukuchatha in that in colon hydrotherapy, warm water is injected in the colon and waste is flushed out the same way as you do when Ukuchatha. And she also said no, because colon hydrotherapy uses a state-of-the-art colonic machine that is administered by a trained therapist, and the machine cleanses the entire colon, while Ukuchatha makes use of enema and only cleanses the lower part of the colon. Each colon hydrotherapy session lasts for about 45 minutes to an hour. People do colon hydrotherapy for a number of reasons, including for total detox, to improve digestion, to lose weight, to regulate bowel movement, and to reduce the risk of colon cancer. Sisintlapho says her clientele includes people between the ages 12 and 75 years. Her clients can cleanse their colon anywhere between 1 to 5 times in a 3-week period, depending on the health and vitality of the client. A general practitioner may recommend an enema for a number of reasons, including therapeutic and diagnostic uses. Colon hydrotherapy is a therapeutic use of enema. It uses a sophisticated machine that's operated by a trained professional. The diagnostic use of enema is when doctors use enema in conjunction with other tests to help accurately determine what is wrong with a person. For example, if you have abdominal pains, an x-ray might be used to examine what's wrong with you, and enema might be used to get your stool sample for further analysis. Doctors can also use enema to give a person medication. It can also be used to cleanse your bowels before a medical procedure like a colonoscopy. At a high level, in all the ways that matter, colon hydrotherapy is similar to Ukuchatha. Ukuchatha is a ritualized African cleansing and purifying technique. It is a technique similar to ukupalaza, which is induced emesis, ukugeza, which is a ritualized bathing, ukufutha, which is ritualized steaming. Ukugeza and ukufutha cleanse the body from the outside in, while ukuchatha and ukupalaza cleanse the body from the inside out. Ukupalaza cleanses the body from the inside out, from the upper body by drinking the emetic, and ukuchatha cleanses and purifies the body from the inside out, from the lower part of the body by injecting a fluid into the colon through the rectum. With colon hydrotherapy, the fluid that's used is water. This can be tap or saline water, depending on the patient's medical history and preference. With ukuchatha, the fluid can be saline water, it can be iswasho, it can be imbiza or prepared medicines. In Africa, enemas containing traditional medicines are the most common methods of administering traditional medicines to treat a variety of ailments, such as a windy stomach or lower back pains. For example, to treat something like constipation, purgative enemas are used that involve the injection of 1 to 1.5 liters of saline water or soap or traditional medicines using either umayime, ugobo, umondi, ikalamozi, or ishaqa. With isihaqa, for example, you can crush the roots of isihaqa and mix them with hot water and let the mixture sit for a few hours and administer the liquid as enema to treat constipation. The fluid that is used really depends on what is being treated with ukuchatha. Unlike colon hydrotherapy, ukuchatha is used to detox, to treat physical and spiritual ailments. For example, you can use ukuchatha to release the waste that is in the colon and to stimulate the release of toxins in other parts of the body, such as the liver. Ukuchatha can be used to treat various ailments in the body, such as abdominal pains, stomach ache, and female infertility. Ukuchatha can be used as part of treatment when dealing with spiritual possession. Ukuchatha can also be used to get rid of bad luck and the effects of witchcraft and to open up different opportunities. Additionally, with ukuchatha, there are different types of enema devices that can be used. I will tell you two stories to help paint a picture of how and why different people use ukuchatha. While growing up, ukupey'ta was a practice that I used to dread, even though I knew it was good for me. As a child, my family used to perform an annual cleanse at the start of each year before the schools reopened. My grandmother would tell us, the children in the family, that we were doing the cleanse so that we do not get sick during the school year. And my grandmother didn't want us to catch an infection from the other kids at school. Because we knew that we were going to do the cleanse at the start of January, in December we would eat all the junk food we wanted. So December became the most indulgent month. When performing Ukuchatha, we use the bulb douche syringe. This is the handheld, easy to use brown rubber bulb enema with a solid tip. The fluids that were mostly used was water with sunlight soap. Occasionally, water would be mixed with ushiboshi. Vaseline would be used to lubricate the tip of the enema before inserting it in the butt. When performing Ukuchatha, we would assume the bottoms up, face down position. Oh my God. Older family members performed Ukuchatha differently and for different reasons. For example, I had a relative from Swaziland who had many different girlfriends, and whenever he ate one of his girlfriend's food, he would perform Ukuchatha using prepared medicines known as imbiza. He used Ukuchatha when he suspected his girlfriend of adding umuthi in his food in order to give him isiliso. He would prepare the imbiza concoction, strain it, and then add it to the enema device. He would use a 1 liter bucket with an attached tube as the enema device. When performing Ukuchatha, he would say words like, "Go away, Siliso, go away, bad spirit." When we asked him why he would always speak when he is performing the act of Ukuchatha, he would reply by saying, "Speaking is what makes the act more effective." As you can see, Ukuchatha is performed for different reasons by different people, and different devices along with different cleansing fluids may be used in the process. Ukuchatha is an African practice that is similar to an Eastern practice called Basti Kriya. Basti Kriya is a cleansing technique that is used in the traditional Indian healing system of Ayurveda and Hatha Yoga. Yoga is a comprehensive lifestyle practice that engages the mind, body, and intellect through various yoga postures called asanas, breathing techniques called pranayama, cleansing practices called kriyas, and meditation techniques called dhyana. There are different types of yoga. There is Iyengar, there's Vinyasa, there's Bikram, there's Ashtanga, there is Kundalini, and there is Hatha Yoga. Basti Kriya is a Hatha Yoga practice. In Hatha Yoga, there are 6 Shatkarmas or Shatkriyas. Shatkarmas are a set of cleansing and purifying techniques that a person does in order to prepare the mind and body for yoga. The 6 Shatkarmas are Doti Kriya, Kapalabhati Kriya, Noli Kriya, Neti Kriya, Trataka, and Basti Kriya. Doti Kriya cleanses the digestive tract, which includes the mouth and food pipe. Kapalabhati cleanses and strengthens the lung capacity. It increases oxygen in the body and gives you a youthful glow. Noli Kriya cleanses and massages the abdominal organs. Neli Kriya cleanses the nasal passages. Trataka cleanses the eyes and the mind. And Basti Kriya cleanses the colon. Basti Kriya is a lower abdominal cleansing technique. Its purpose is to cleanse the lower parts of the body, such as the large intestine. It helps replenish the bowels. It cures the digestive and urinary tract infections. It balances the 3 doshas. It enhances the skin's tone and texture. And it unblocks and balances the solar plexus. There are 2 types of Basti Kriya. There is Sthala Basti Kriya, which cleanses the lower parts of the body with air. And there is Jala Basti Kriya, which cleanses the lower parts of the body with water. In this video, I'll only discuss Jala Basti Kriya. Maybe in the future, I will do a video on Stala Basti Kriya. But the Jala Basti Kriya is the one that's most similar to Ukuchatha. So we'll talk about that one. I've never used Jala Basti Kriya, but I know people that have. The device that is typically used when performing Jala Basti Kriya is a container with an attached catheter or plastic tube. To begin Jala Basti Kriya, prepare half a liter or 1 liter of lukewarm water. This can be tap water or saline water. Beeswax or ghee oil is typically used to lubricate the end of the tube. The tube is then inserted into the anus and water is injected into the colon through the rectum. After injecting all the water, hold the water in for a few minutes and then evacuate all the water. A Hatha yoga teacher once told me that after evacuating the water, it's customary to perform a Mayurasana. This is a peacock yoga pose or asana. And this asana helps to further evacuate the colon of any water that may still be inside. The act of Ukuchatha is very similar to colon hydrotherapy and Jala Basti Kriya. However, the key and probably the main difference between the three techniques is that Ukuchatha is not a routine cleansing technique, but it is a ritualized cleansing technique. While doing the ritual, you speak. For example, when preparing the fluid that you're going to use, you speak and say what you want the fluid to do. When injecting the fluid into the body, you speak and tell the fluid what you want it to do inside your body. When you are sitting in the toilet, you speak and tell whatever is bothering you to go away and never come back. And then you flush. God spoke the world into existence. As children of God, we also speak those things that are not as though they are. So speaking while doing a ritual is what makes the African cleansing rituals spiritual. If you don't speak when Ukuchatha, then you are doing a routine. You are not performing a ritual. Speaking along with the fact that traditional medicines are used is what differentiates Ukuchatha from colon hydrotherapy and Jala Basti Kriya. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, stay blessed, and bye.